We need to talk some more about the Australian breakdancing anti-hero, Raygun. She's become one of the most talked about Australians from the Olympics. And that's one of the annoying things about Raygun. I mean, every minute we focus on her is a minute we might have been talking about Nina Kennedy, Jessica Fox, Cameron McEvoy, or the many others who came home with gold. Instead, we're talking about a breakdancer nobody had heard of previously, and her bizarre performance in Paris wearing a daggy Australian tracksuit and incorporating kangaroos and sprinklers into her act. We can't show you the actual performance because of the Olympic rights issues, but for that you should be grateful. But I can show you the big noise she's making in the US.
You have to wonder where Raygun is right now. What's that music coming from? How are you feeling since your performance? Oh my, oh no, I see, okay, yeah, please, no, yeah, I understand. Me? You want me to dance with you? All right, I can do that.
Crikey. At least the Americans will stop telling us to throw another prawn or shrimp onto the barbie. Now they'll expect us all to breakdance or whatever it is that Raygun did. Because before the Olympics, Raygun's breakdancing actually looked pretty much like we might have expected.
Australia.
Yeah, that looks a little more like breakdancing, but in Paris we saw something very different, in a green and gold tracksuit no less. It was so weird that prominent Indigenous activist Professor Megan Davis has accused Raygun of deliberately scoring zero at the Games, using it as some kind of academic experiment. Which sounds kind of strange until you look at Raygun's or Rachael Gunn's academic work. There's a massive focus on breakdancing. There's even a report on the sportification of breakdancing and the possibilities and politics of the art form entering the Olympics. Yeah, this all brings me to another take on Raygun and the fact that what she has done here, whether by design or by accident, is just a little bit of genius, a way of showing us just what a joke we've become when it comes to academia and government programs and the like. Think of it this way. What on earth is breakdancing doing in the Olympics for starters? This is a form of dance, not sport, and it stems from African American communities in the big cities of the US. So how on earth does a white Australian woman end up representing Australia in Paris in breakdancing? Before the Games, she seems as surprised as anybody else.
Congratulations on going to the Olympics. That must feel pretty wild.
It is totally wild. It's not something I ever thought I would do. I grew up as a dancer. I did sport and things like that, but I just never thought that I would be going to the Olympics.
Yeah, it was unexpected, all right, but Raygun, actually 36-year-old Sydney academic Rachael Gunn, has had a long, successful career largely built on embracing breakdancing. Gunn works at Macquarie University and notes in a website that she spent her whole adult life at the uni, from being a student at 18 to her adult life as a lecturer in culture and media. Her university profile shows that her special area of expertise and research is street dancing and gender. And her PhD thesis, as I showed you last night, looked at breakdancing and gender in the Sydney scene. Feminism and street dancing are her things. And incredibly, Gunn even scored a grant of more than $20,000 from the Sydney City Council to study places for street dancing in Sydney. So here is a person with a special interest in breakdancing, if not much talent, if we believe the Olympic judges. She's also got a special interest in feminism and gender issues too, a very fashionable area. And so far, she's been able to have these interests indulged in large part at taxpayers' expense. At Macquarie University for more than a decade, she's had them funded also by the ratepayers of the Sydney City Council. And to cap it all off, she's gone to the Olympics at taxpayer expense. And the Olympic selection process occurred largely through an organisation called Breaking, which has only been going a few years and represents a very small group of dancers but has received at least $275,000 of government funding for various competitions. And today it's felt the need to release a statement defending the integrity of its Olympic selection processes. And on the back of all this, government, Olympic grants, academic work, council grants and Ausbreaking grants, Raygun gets to go to Paris.
I see it more as this, unique opportunity that I've been given to be able to represent Australia at potentially the only time breaking is going to be in the Olympics. It's such an honour and a privilege, and I'm just, going to enjoy it.
Well, the privilege was all ours, to be sure, our tax dollars at work. Now, I spend a lot of time trying to point out that governments at all levels waste a lot of our hard-earned tax dollars. And I spend a lot of time too trying to demonstrate that a lot of people waste our time with nonsense, using the fashions of the moment to win support or indulgement from governments, local, state and federal, and from bureaucracies and from universities. And this is the genius of Raygun. Her story shows better than anyone else how government largesse and indulgence can be accessed if you know how. All the way from the footpaths of Macquarie University to the Olympic stage in Paris. No doubt we will read a lot more about all this through an academic feminist lens in good time. Some of the criticism is bound to get a run in this next academic paper. And I stress that Gunn has done nothing wrong, nothing at all. But what Raygun has shown us better than anyone else is that if you know what buttons to push and you know where to go for funding and support, there will always be gullible politicians and bureaucrats willing to indulge you with the easy dollars that come from hard-working taxpayers.